Hi, this is Diane from Dianne'sCards.com. I hope you're having a great day. And today I want to show you a technique called masking. And there's actually two ways that you can mask to get different effects, but what essentially you're doing is covering or hiding part of the stamp image. This was on my blog a few days ago. I stamped the flowers and then I wanted the leaves to be behind them. And if I had just stamped them down straight, you would have seen the end of the leaves. If you see the stamp, I don't know how well you can see the stamp. This is from the Lots of Love stamp set. This is the flower and the leaf. You would have seen, it would have interfered with the flower. So the easiest way to do that is to first scrap paper. You're going to stamp the image that you want to have primary, the one that you don't want to get covered up. And then you're going to cut it out with your paper snips. So I've actually got a couple of them. This one I've used a few times. This one is not so used. So I'm going to show you how this works. First, you're going to stamp your main image, the one that you want to have as the focal without anything on top of it. So I've got the flower, and I used what did I use here? Marina Mist for this flower. And now I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz for the leaves. So now I'm going to take this flower that I cut out, and I just took a little bit of snail and put it behind there. Then I'm going to line it up with the flower, like so. All right, so now that's covering the flower, so that if some of the ends are actually where the flower is, it's not going to show. So now I'm going to stamp. Then I'll take this off, and you see I have the leaves back here, but none on the flower. Is that not clever? Now for the second type of masking, you might have a sentiment like this, always thinking of you, and that's fine, except for this card, I didn't want anything that wide. So what I did was always thinking, and then I stamped again, of you. And the way to do that is to take your stamp, make sure it's really clean, really dry, and you're going to put some Scotch tape over the part that you want to, shall we say, hide for the first time. So I have always thinking, then I'm going to put tape over of you. All right. So just for our demonstration, we'll just do it on here. So I'm going to ink up this part, and if it get a little on the tape, that's fine, because I'm going to take the tape off. And now there's absolutely nothing there. There's a little ink there. So I'm going to do always thinking. I'm going to clean this part that was stamped. And again, make sure it's really dry, because if it's the least bit damp, you will get a little impression. So this time I'm going to cover all but of you, and I'm going to make sure that the part that I had before is covered. So now I'm just going to ink up the of you, and if I get some on the tape, that's okay. Remove the tape, and then of you is going to go right here. Yay! So there it is, always thinking of you. And again, if you have something where it doesn't fit quite where you want it, or maybe you just want part of a sentiment, that happens a lot, that's how you can use that stamp. You could cut it, but if you don't want to do that, then just use this technique of masking. So there's two ways you can mask. You can use a paper image that you're going to cover what you don't want stamped, or you can use tape to do part of an image. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something today. Oh, here's another card that I made where I used a mask, but it was the simplest kind. This is actually a mermaid, this little image here, but I wanted it to look more like a genie coming out of the bottle. So what I did was just take a piece of scrap paper, and I just stamped the bottle, and then I just covered it and stamped. because some of it would have come, if I had just done the bottle, I would have had some of the image on either side. Trust me on that. So again, I hope you've learned something and that you've enjoyed listening to this and watching this tape today. Thank you.